Welcome to the Bullits and Bourbon podcast, where it's not about the bourbon, but more about who you share it with.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Bullits and Bourbon, episode 45. This is the midweek episode, and this episode is the hard truth and other things. All right, so we decided we're going to take a little turn on some out of the state of Pennsylvania whiskeys and look at some smaller distilleries that are out there that are kind of big on the national scene or growing on the national scene. And Hard Truth is one of these bottles that has been around a bit, but we haven't really touched on a lot yet. And they make several offerings. So you're taking your headset off. That scares me.
Yeah, you're super loud in my headset.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe we're
whoever was on this headset last was deaf.
Was deaf?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't me on that one. So, we'll kick it off. We tried this a little bit before the podcast. We sat around and we were just kind of smoking and joking. So I'm curious to know what you think now on the second take of this whiskey, especially yours, Craig, because it's neat.
The first one, for me, always the first pour has a little bit of punch to it, though. I usually have to lubricate the palate there, get into it a little bit, though.
You like that palate lubricated?
Always something. It fits the wording. Sweet mash bill, though. Sweet for me. A little bit of heat on the finish there.
I'll agree with that, yeah.
It's a decent pour, though. I like it for, you said, $60 a bottle.
Yeah, I think it was like 65. I mean, it checks in at 90% proof, and it is a sweet mash, so it gives away a little bit of what it's going to taste like. It's going to be a little bit sweeter. I mean,
kind of reminds me almost of like a maybe 8-year Bib and Tucker.
Yeah.
I
had to pour a Bib and Tucker. I haven't had the 8-year in a while, but yeah, sweeter.
Yeah, it has that sweet charcoal.
Yeah.
Definitely a good pour.
Yeah, I mean, so when I got the bottle in, and I'm not going to point fingers on it, but the bottle looked like it was a short bottle. I took a picture, I showed it to you. So I don't know if it's just one of those manufacturing errors because it was wrapped, great shipping, fast shipping. It was wrapped like it could be thrown out of an airplane.
It might be because of the design of the bottle too. Because you go thin at the bottom and it gets wider on the top.
Yeah, it just
kind of like I like my women.
He's stupid. Wait, fat at the bottom, skinny at the top?
No, skinny at the bottom.
Something's wrong with you, but I mean,
it's just impressive like the women.
Like, thank God it's women. All right, cool. So I looked at the bottle. It didn't look like it leaked. So I was like, whatever. Maybe a pour was gone out of it, or maybe it is the bottle design. The nose for me, I get a cherry, a little bit of a cinnamon, caramel, a little bit of the kind of the light charred oakish, scent to it. Palate, sweet oak. It's that sweet mash bill really kind of pours out of it, and a lot of vanilla notes, and it's buttery. The finish, spicy. There's a good.
I'll agree with the spice.
There's a decent hug on it. It's not a long hug, but it's lingering enough to really kind of make it enjoyable. For a sweet mash, I liked it. Especially at the price point. I really liked it at the price point.
What was the price point on this?
65, 70. I can.
Yeah, that's a good solid price point.
I'll look it up. But all in all, for a bottle that we probably should have done before.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I always think, sadly for me though, I would have to say I'd have to revisit this one. For me, it's not particularly my cup of tea with the finish though. But given this time though, like I said, the next time I might. It just could be tonight though. But right now, it's not my cup of tea though.
It just reminds me a lot of Bib and Tucker. It got a lot of that flavor profile. It's sweet.
There's a buttery taste to it too.
It's pretty smooth. But this is in Indiana. Is this MGP or
no? It's not MGP.
Okay.
So and they have a large array. I just brought up their website. They have a sweet mash rye, which I'm really curious about. They have a high road rye. Sweet mash bourbon, which is what we have now, and they have a French oak harvest rye. That one,
the French oak would be really interesting to try.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that might be the next one we order from them. They also have a Master Distillers 2024 blend, a barrel finish reserve blend, and a double oak sweet mash rye. So, and a sweet mash wheated bourbon. So a wheated bourbon might really, man, it's tough because they do have a lot of offerings. They also have a sweet mash 4-grain bourbon, and they have a lot of things. A harvest rye. I mean, they have a sweet mash rye finished in French oak cognac barrels. That sounds good. And their shipping was very, very quick. So I ordered this on a whim. I don't know what brought it up. And 2-3 days later, it was here.
Not nice.
Yeah, so, I can't complain. I mean, obviously, it probably would have been smarter had I ordered 2 bottles and saved a little bit on shipping, and now I'm going to go back and I'm probably going to order 2 more. But I'm interested in their collection from front to back because the rye, from looking at comments of other people who have had it, they're real impressed with it. And so now I'm starting to really love the rye more than anything. I want to taste some of those interesting. The French oak harvest rye, is that the one I think?
Yeah, we all agreed on.
Yeah, I think that's one that would be very, very interesting.
I think the double oak. I mean, a lot of us like the peerless double oak. A lot of the double oaks, I think we like that though too, and I would be really interested to try the double oak though too.
Yeah, I think we're attracted to the double oaks as well.
I mean, it's hit or miss for me because, like, you know me, I love my chicken cock.
Yeah, Jesus. Here comes the chicken cock. Out comes the cock.
Here comes, but when it comes to the chicken cock double oak, out of all the chicken cock products, that's not my favorite.
No, and they make 2 different iterations. Chicken cock does of the double oak. They make the garden gun and the regular.
The regular double oak.
Yeah, and honestly, I think the regular one's better than the.
Well, I'm a huge fan of the rye.
Yeah,
the rye, the field ethos, and now the red stave.
Yeah, the red stave. What is the one that we just ordered from Chicken Cock?
That was the
Caribbean rye?
Caribbean cask finish. Rooster
rye, though. Right?
Chicken Cock. If I get this wrong, I'm sorry. Chicken Cock Caribbean cask finish. I believe.
Do I need to Google it?
I think it's Rooster Rum or something like that. Maybe.
I think you're right. Yeah, if you're
when Chicken Cock jumps on my phone like this, it's a little concerning that it's at the top of the search bar.
Right now, Fruit Bat. Well, as of yesterday, Fruit Bat. I think typically that Chicken Cock goes for $1.99, and Fruit Bat had it for $1.30-ish plus shipping. Yeah. So it was so far the cheapest I have seen though. Reputable website, Fruit Bat.
Yeah. I don't think that I've ever ordered through them before. But I've heard nothing bad ever about Fruit Bat. So, I mean, it's probably a safe one to go through. That one I'm looking forward to. The one that I think all 3 of us are super looking forward to is the Chicken Cock Minzanera. And I just probably butchered that name. Minzunara. So tomorrow, for everybody that does listen to this tomorrow, they will be releasing the Chicken Cock Minzanera cask. And I'm trying to bring up the email so that I could share that with everybody.
I think it's like
just go to the text message you sent me yesterday.
Yeah, so that's a Japanese oak finish. It doesn't give us a price on this because we're copper members. We got this email. I don't know what that means as a copper member, but I guess there's copper.
Yeah, there's copper, bronze,
copper's
gold.
pretty low.
Yeah,
it's the peasant level.
I'm a little bit higher than you on that.
Are you a gold?
I think I'm silver or gold.
You need to be gold.
Point, then?
So you got this email too?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna guess that it's gonna be a $300 bottle because it's a Mizunara cask.
Yeah, usually any of their 10 can releases, you can guess anywhere between $199 to $299.
But it'll be worth it because that's not a wood that is very used very often.
Yeah,
you got to be kind of good with that wood to really bring the best out of it. So they're calling this their rarest release yet. So for Chicken Cock on Thursday is going to be a big day for them and for us, and we're all going to be grabbing some cocks. And sorry, it just happens. And we still maintain Chicken Cock. Listen, he's still not sponsored. The guy's salty. We want to see him with a big old chicken cock right here on the chest or on the neck.
The neck's not going to happen.
Face.
The neck and face is not going to happen.
I guarantee you, at some point, it'll happen.
No.
It's like prison sex, my friend. It can be rough or it can be easy, but either way, it's going to happen.
It's not happening.
Tattoo
is a possibility. Tattoo is a possibility.
Well, I mean, we'll see. So we went with a hard truth on this episode because
we're going to talk about your weight.
We are. You're such a dickhead. Man, I've lost some weight last couple of days. You know, I'm freebasing Ozempic. I'm doing lines of it now. Yeah. It's not working. No, I thought about it. I was like, you know what? This bottle came in, hard truth, cool kind of theme to go with. We had the pleasure on Saturday of doing something that was near and dear to your heart.
Yeah, and I really appreciate the whole crew coming out for that.
And it's now near and dear to my heart, and I think I could probably speak the same for Craig and Ty. The Sean M.
Sean Ruane.
Yeah, well, I was getting his middle initial in there because that's how
you always butcher the last name. It's okay.
Okay. Foundation had its annual cornhole tournament, and why don't you just kind of tell people about Sean a little bit and then your relationship with it, because I think that this is important.
Yeah, so I grew up with Sean in high school. We became friends. He went to a rival high school. Did a lot of high school partying together. Back then, we were drinking the Mad Dog 2020, disguised in Gatorade bottles, you know. Just so happened, I joined the military. He went a different route, went down to Embry-Riddle, which is a military school. He got his pilot license, became a H-60 helicopter pilot, and started working for the PJs, Pararescue.
Yep.
As a pilot. Just so happened, you know, there's very limited bases the PJs are stationed out of because it's all strategically coordinated to where we got our special forces guys at. Just so happened, my very last base, Lake and Heath, over in England, we were both stationed there, which was absolutely great to catch up and see all the great things he was doing. And, you know, just that reconnecting. I had surgery over there. Him and his wife were helping me out when I had my surgery. Sadly, shortly after that, you know, we had multiple missions: Iraq, Afghanistan, the Horn of Africa, you know, small arms fire, RPG fire. Sadly, he was in a training mission in England. The first helicopter flew by. He was behind the second. Some ducks kicked up, or some geese, and caused the helicopter to crash. Him and the whole crew perished. January. Was that
2014?
2014. Yeah. January 7th, 2014. Yeah. So it's really great. The Captain Sean Ruane Foundation here in Pittsburgh, they try to provide college scholarships to Montour students. And they have multiple events throughout the year. One of the ones is a golf outing. They have multiple dinners. And the big one is the annual cornhole tournament, which we attended this past Saturday.
Yeah. Which was, you know, we went with Dan because it was very hard for him to go back and do this. And, you know, there's, you know, for a lot of our veteran listeners are going to understand this, but those who don't or aren't veterans, it gets very hard certain times of the year when you've maybe lost a buddy. You know, there are some dates on the calendar that I just dread. And I knew that this was a period for Dan.
Well, it's especially hard because, you know, the 7th you had the Sean Ruane cornhole tournament, and then the September 8th was the 15th anniversary. Joe Helton was killed in Iraq. You know,
so it's never easy during this time, and you know, we're like we're going to go do this. We're going to show up, and you know, for you, but also it was good. It was
good for the family, family and friends. Yeah.
What we encountered though is pretty amazing because, you know, I've been retired 7 years now from the Air Force, and I was in the rescue world. I didn't fly with Sean, but you know, the pilots and the PJs and the rescue community is very, very small. You know, it's not large.
No, not at all.
And I guess it was probably halfway through the event, one of his buddies that he flew with, another pilot,
Lunchbox. Give a shout out to Lunchbox.
Yeah,
Great meeting you.
You know, hopefully you'll be able to hear this. He was introduced to us, and it was like taking a step back 15 years. Lunchbox was at the 38th or at the 41st Rescue Squadron in Georgia, where I was at the 38th in Moody. And I mean, he had been pretty much, it was a shadow. He'd been everywhere after I'd been there. To Korea, we got to catch up about Korea and England, and it was therapeutic, to be honest with you. And then at the very end of the night was crazy as I met his other buddy, and can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he looked at me kind of weird when I shook his hand. I think you saw
I caught it.
And I looked at him too, like, man, faces, names, I'm not very good with it. And we're on the way back, and he texted me, and he's like, hey, that dude straight up remembers you from Moody Air Force Base. He remembers you, 100%. And it just reminded me of what a small world the military is, not just the Air Force or not just the rescue guys and the special operations groups, but the entire military. It's smaller than we think. And because we're all over the world, we bounce into each other at random places. And this was just an event that really kind of, it was therapeutic. It was therapeutic for me. I feel like I've been slipping away further and further from the military, even though I work, still as a civilian for the military. I don't feel, we don't feel,
you don't feel connected
like we used to. But that one event, immediately I felt tied back in. Like I could go and put the uniform back on and it would be okay. I think for Lunchbox, it was therapeutic for him. I think for you, it was a hard day.
Yeah.
But it was a needed day. You needed to kind of confront that again, and
well, it's always hard seeing his mom and dad just, especially knowing the things we did in Iraq, Afghanistan, and other places we've been. And I look back at like some of the careless, asinine, stupid shit
stuff
that we pulled in Iraq and Afghanistan that you're like, how'd I walk away from that? Driving down Route Irish, sitting on the back of a Cayman on the steps, ID alley. You're just, sitting out there waving to people, being a jackass or, some of the stupid shit you did over there, and you walked away
without a scratch.
Yeah.
So it was definitely, I couldn't have asked for a better day. It was great that Ty and Craig were both there. I mean, it's one of those moments where, these were Air Force guys, but a vet is a vet. And it was good. It was a good day for the spirit to get out there and kind of remember who we are. Part of our Bullits and Bourbon mission and function is to never let that die, to be there for veterans, and to, we're still losing way too many veterans every day to suicide, way more than we lost in the wars. And, just because we are okay doesn't mean that everybody handles things the same way. And that was a wake up call for me. So I mean, it was I can't thank you enough for inviting us, to come down there.
I'm just glad you guys all came out and stayed as long as we did.
Yeah, and listen, next year we're gonna do it up. I want to go next year. I'd love to maybe even, bring some people on the podcast and have them share their memories about Sean.
Yeah.
And, I think that would be good. I think the more you talk about a loss, the more you can digest it, and it doesn't grab a hold and wrap their arms around you as strongly, every time you're able to kind of get that out. So,
well, his mom even said these events doesn't make it easier, but it helps.
It manages it.
It manages it to where, she keeps waking up every morning, hoping to wake up from a nightmare. But without the foundation and the people that have surrounded her over the years, this is going on 10 years, and, they're still constantly doing event after event, which is just absolutely hats off to all the guys on the board.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys put on an absolute wonderful event. The food was great. The music was great. The cornhole boards were freaking awesome. I mean, they had a bunch of cornhole boards. I've never been to a cornhole tournament, so that was cool. Everybody was nice. Cool merch, we're merch guys. We like our shirts, our patches, our chew, our spit, and our freaking t-shirts. So next year, we're really hoping that we can get the word out more and do this not just for Sean, but for other veterans, that we have the opportunity to keep their memory alive and keep kind of going forward. As that somber as that is, it's important to us to kind of talk about that. So thank you to the Sean Ray Foundation. You guys, were amazing. We can't wait till next year to help sponsor you out. And, that's the hard truth is it never gets easier, but, the more we talk about it, the more it's going to be better for all of us, Now with that said,
the hard truth
will continue.
There's a lot of stuff we can go down the rabbit hole on this one.
But this is going to be This might be a little controversial. Yay or nay?
I think Craig's going to go both ways.
Yeah.
I think
he's always been going both ways. So, as many know now, and it's a trending topic, and it's unfortunate. The Tyreek Hill traffic stop in Miami right before the Dolphins versus the Jaguars game, the body cam footage was released today. It's interesting. You have overreaction, underreactions, and wild reactions, but body cam footage does a lot to kind of turn the situation. So essentially, the bare bones background on this was he was speeding. Yeah, we all speed. And a couple motorbike cops caught him, and they pulled him over. Now, this is where it gets kind of stupid.
It gets very stupid very quickly.
So, and I'm going to be very, very, very middle of the road on this because you and I were cops.
I mean, I'm going to go both ways with it.
Yeah.
Both parties were at fault.
Yes.
You had one cop.
Let me interrupt you here.
Yeah.
The non-cop here.
Yeah.
So before you two interject here,
Yeah, go for it.
It's always tough when you get on when you get on a platform right here. You're trying to make sure you speak your words intelligently and put your thoughts, articulate yourself correctly. Though,
So get off the mic.
I'm just going to have to put duct tape over his mouth. He
Yeah,
never
yeah.
lets
So,
you get
I
a word
mean,
in.
the 5 minutes of body cam footage I saw, the 5 minutes we all saw was basically it looked like it appeared to be started 60 seconds after the stop or so to the next 5 minutes that transpired. Correct?
5 to 7 minutes. Or
So from what I saw was here's Tyreek Hill, amazing sports car. It's the body cam footage we started with was after the initial knock on the window, though. My opinion was I can't imagine being a cop. This day and age, has it really changed from 20 years ago? I don't know.
Yes.
It's a lot more televised. It's a lot more televised, though. We don't see what happened 20 years ago, but everything is so televised now, though. It went from Tyreek Hill, he put his window back up, though, to it was a routine stop, though. It seemed like, though, he put his window up, though. I would say, should he put his window up, though? I can understand from a cop's perspective, though, too, dark tinted windows. I can understand the fear factor of even though you know who he is, you never know what's behind that dark tinted window, though. I also thought the cop at the same time, though, really escalated the situation in the sense of, though, it became a
pissing match.
It became a pissing contest, and it got to one point in the video, too, where some of his buddies pulled up, though, too, concerned. Okay, they're blocking traffic. They're like, hey, you need to move on. You need to move your cars out of the way. They kind of sat there a little bit, respectfully sat there. And then the one cop said, give me your license, correct? And aggressively started saying it, but the other cop was saying, go ahead and go. But the other cop
had it handled. The problem is that they weren't really blocking traffic. Traffic was already blocked because of the cops in the big melee. And this is where I have a lot of problems with the way that the cops behaved. And I'm a cop. I was a cop. I've done high-risk traffic stops. You've done high-risk traffic stops.
I did too. At the point, especially at the point of the driver's license, though, when the one cop, buddy stop, whether he was like out in the other lane a little bit, whatever. Though the one cop was like, "Give me your license, give me your license." The other cop's like, "Hey, he's trying to de-escalate the situation."
Which is what you should be doing.
He understood there was not a problem there with this guy. He said, "Go ahead and get back in your car. Just go." And the other cop's like, "No, now you're dealing with me." And at that point, it seemed like it became more emotional than professional.
He lost control of the situation. So here are the things that bother me. Number one, Tyreek Hill. Let me preface this. I listened to Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp discuss this morning on First Take. And I'm not a Stephen A. Smith fan. Now, if you remember, 36 hours prior, Stephen A. Smith blasted the cops right away. He blasted them. It's very interesting because once that body cam footage came out, he changed gears and it basically said, okay, Tyreek Hill's behavior didn't do him a lick of favor. True. If I get pulled over, now I am not a black American, and I cannot imagine being that feeling as a black American with cops. I want to empathize. I do, because it is not a positive interaction 99% of the time for police. And that's tragic. That's wrong at its core. But I'm going to be honest with you. I got some news. I'm a cop. I'm still scared of cops to this day. Like, when I get pulled over, I roll the window down. I put my hands on the roof. I'm freaking like, what can I do for you? A lot of this is the reputation of police officers in the minds of the general public. And here's the core issue we need to change, right? It's a respect factor. True or false? It's a respect factor. It's in that moment understanding that the police officer does have authority over you. And that's hard for some people. Now, the police officer's job is to understand his role in this covenant between the population and the public, which is, I am there to serve and protect. I am there to serve you and protect you, and not to abuse that authority. So Tyreek Hill didn't do any favors because he didn't roll down the window, and then when the cop knocked, he rolled it down, and there were some choice words. He was not respectful to the cop, and you don't have to be.
I don't. From what I saw, I didn't see a lot of choice words. Though I see, it's not always what you say; it's how you say it.
It's how you say it.
Yeah.
It wasn't. So I'm not taking the cop side here.
Well, there's no profanity by Tyreek Hill. He didn't say like, "What the fuck are you doing?" or anything like that. He did raise his voice, like, "Why are you pounding on my window so hard?"
So I think my opinion is 95% of cops are good. Might get me wrong. There's a lot of, I'm still active duty military. I think there's a lot of military. There's a good percentage, 5% we should get rid of, who are total pieces
garbage
of shit.
Yeah.
Same thing. When you have this many cops, you have that percentage though. Sometimes I wonder we talk about a bigger systemic problem in society. My question though too is, blood, guts, glory, this type of stuff sells. We can take so many pictures now, so many photo videos right here. So, when Tyreek Hill said, "Don't knock on my window like that," I'm not saying he's wrong, but it is a little bit more of an aggressive statement though too.
I mean, you're challenging authority at that time.
Instead of saying, "Hey, could you please not?
Yeah.
Hey, please don't knock on my window like that."
But
I'm not in the situation, so it's always easy to shotgun cornerback sitting here.
My thing though, when you do say something like that, you're going to escalate the situation.
Yeah.
If I say anything to a cop that isn't yes sir, no sir, I know I'm poking that bear. I'm pumping my chest out like, who you fucking
Not
with?
talking about Tyreek Hill, but do you think that more people in today's society
wants to challenge the authority?
Well,
100%.
I don't have to show you this. I don't have to do this.
There's video after video
100%.
out there. With
And a lot of times I look at it. I remember one night I was out with my an ex a long time ago. Cops rolled up. There was a fight at some bar 6-7 years ago. They rolled up, asked me for my ID. First thing she said was, "Don't show me your ID." First thing she said, and I'm like, "Why?" I said, "I'll give him my ID. Like, I didn't do anything. Like, he wants to see my ID." I'm like, I don't care. Why would I take that standpoint of I'm not combative?
Well,
why am I going to say I'm not going to show you my ID? Like, okay, you want to see my? I mean,
now it's like, what
care.
are you hiding? Why don't want me to see your ID?
and
You
just
got
when
a
you're
warrant
being-
out there for you now?
And I'm not talking about Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill did not do this. I'm talking about me and my situation years ago.
But
his said, I'm like,
his
why?
behavior drove. So here's my problem. At the moment that Tyreek's behavior was non-compliant or rude, however you want to phrase it, a cop's job, a professional policeman's job,
is to
de-escalate it, not to allow his emotions. Dude, if I'm telling you this, you know me. What did I like to do?
Oh yeah,
I like to go.
Do we agree on this? Should it have gone to that point?
It should.
No.
I'm going to tell you something.
So we're not taking the cop's side.
We're not taking the cop's
It should
side.
not have gone to that situation. No. Tyreek Hill could have worded it better. Just our perception.
He could have prevented the entire thing in theory.
We don't know.
We don't know because the cop kind of seemed like a hothead. Because when they got him out, they were trying to put him down on the sidewalk, and he was going down slow. If you notice, he was moving slow because your arms are behind your back, and if you've been cuffed, it's very awkward to sit down because you're worried about losing your balance
and falling
over. And that cop did not have to run over and put him in a chokehold.
You gotta love Tyreek Hill though. He said, "Hey man, had knee surgery though. Be careful with me." Went out, scored an 80-yard touchdown. So Tyreek, I love that. And you went out there playing some football and you did your thing.
I will say this, and the cop was overly aggressive.
The one cop.
And I will note that one cop was a Hispanic American, not I don't want this to become a race thing, because I think the problem with policing is not necessarily race.
I don't think it's a race thing. It's an authoritative thing.
It's an ego thing. It's an ego thing.
Yeah,
a lot of people get an ego
But that all funnels back to training.
He did not.
It funnels back to training.
I disagree.
I think
I'll
it also.
100% tell you it does.
I disagree.
I'll say training and accountability. There was enough officers there
that should have stepped in.
You're too emotional.
Yes.
Go sit back.
Well, let me ask
Take
you
a
all
step
this
back.
though. Training, sometimes you cannot train out the emotional side of some people.
Bullshit.
No,
bullshit.
Not everybody.
Hold on.
Some people,
Bullshit.
you're going to be a hothead.
Here's the thing.
Some people should not be a cop, though.
No, here's the thing. Because I try to keep myself in check, but how many times at work I've lost my temper on somebody?
Yes, I understand that.
But then you don't, because here's the thing. You say, yes, keep those emotions in check. You don't know what type of day that guy's having, what's going on in his head.
I get it.
Everybody has their, and I'm not standing up for that cop,
Everybody has their
but
day.
I don't think training's going to take that emotion and ego out of it.
Okay, well, hold on.
That's all I'm getting at right there.
Let me.
Some people are trainable.
Let me kind of wrap this up a little bit in a little bit more of a narrow understanding. We have, every police department has a police academy in the United States. It's absurd. Some are 13 weeks, some are 10 weeks, some are 2 months, some are 4 months, some are 4 weeks, some are get waived, and they'll hire the Walmart security guard. There is not a standardization like we see where Germany, where you are a professional policeman. They go to a 3-year, correct, or is it 4?
I don't know.
It's
off the
long.
top of my head.
And we don't have this in America because we have states' rights and everything. It doesn't mean that we can't have centers of police excellence that we have to send people to for a 2-year period. And when they graduate, now they're eligible to be hired by a local department. And during that 2-year period, I'm sorry, but when you train somebody for 2 years, you get an idea of their psychological health and their temperament and their behavior. And then at that point, you could weed out some of these people that joined the police force because they didn't have anything else to do, or they were bullies, and now they've got a badge and they're hired. Dude, how many people did we work with that were just douche nuggets that had a badge and a gun, and we ended up worrying about this motherfucker right here? So my point is that training and stressing our police, and this is deeper, because you can't just say, well, let's do that. You got to start paying our cops, our professional policemen, to be professional policemen.
Well, here's the thing, man. It depends what area you're in, because I know some cops they make 6 figures.
Yeah, but
there's a lot of cops in this area where it's low crime.
See, I don't
very low crime, and they're making good money.
I don't think paying cheats. I don't think paying changes your ethics, your morals, your temperament.
No, not at all.
My wife is a
teacher. Certain amount of people.
But my wife is a teacher, and teachers for a long time do not get paid a lot of money. And they teach America's youth. What they deal with the parents and everything, though, too.
That's why I say fuck them kids.
Yeah. But I look at some of these teachers. My hat's off to the teachers, though, too. And I'm like, you're either a good teacher or you're not, though. Just because you take a crappy teacher, a shitty teacher, and you double her salary, she's not going to get that much better.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that if you raise the requirements to become a cop, and then you have a standardized methodology of how you train a cop and put him through, you're going to get a larger pool of applicants, and you're less likely to get dog shit.
I'm gonna disagree. So if I got to go to training for 2 years now, and I ain't getting paid shit for that training, or I'm getting paid,
well, you'd have to be paid for the training.
No, I'm saying I'm getting paid minimum. And what the salary is. Am I really going to take that time? I think because one, it's hard enough to fill as many positions that are needed out there for law enforcement. That's why the standard has dropped, and they take anybody.
There's
a need.
Needs and demands.
What I'm saying, if you want to fix it so you don't have problems like this, then you got to figure out the core issue. And the core issue is you have people out there that, look, a lot of things could be going on with the cop that did this. Maybe he had a shitty day. Maybe he was at a domestic and saw a baby get killed. I don't know. We don't know any of that.
We don't.
But what I do know is that your job as a public servant is to serve the public and not to escalate a situation, regardless of what a dickhead another person is being. And in those moments when you have to move and transition to shoot, don't shoot, use of lethal force, your judgment is being called into how well have you interpreted the situation and what have you done to counteract. Look, cops' jobs are horrible. It is you deal with the worst every day. Nobody is ever happy when a cop pulls them over. Nobody's like, oh, Officer J, thank you, man. I'm glad you pulled me over. I was fucking cruising. Can you hook me up? Man, have a blessed afternoon. I never got that. What I got was, man, this month. That's what you get.
Yeah, I think you have to identify, is it a training issue or is it a bigger problem, though? But the bottom line is I was never engaged in some big conflict over there when I was deployed, though. But some of the times we're in training environments right there, the one thing I have learned is that there's been a lot of issues with routine stops. No matter how big of a superstar you are, there's been people, all kinds of superstars where shit went wrong. Doesn't matter who you are, things went wrong. But it is a scary situation for a cop. Not justifying this cop, but I would say, it's not pissing.
No,
it's not pissing down the rain out there. Keep your window down. It's a black tinted out window. Keep your window down.
It's scary for a cop every time you pull somebody over. And I'm not taking anything away from the fear factor of the police when they approach a vehicle. I mean, we have seen multiple law enforcement, officers killed doing routine traffic stops. So you are filled with fear when you're walking up to the car. On the other side of it, if you're a black American especially, but I'm a white dude and I'm scared. I'm like, oh shit, I better move slow. There is fear there too. So whenever you have that amount of fear in play, fear is never a great place to start from. And at some point, this society that we live in has got to come to a point where the public starts to respect police again and believe in them. And the police have to understand they are there to serve first. That badge isn't valid all the time. You're not always in a position of authority with that badge. I know that people think otherwise, but you ain't dog shit if you're off duty. Got news for you. You may still be a licensed peace officer, but if you're out of your jurisdiction, what are you? You ain't dog shit. And look, I love cops. I was a cop. You were a cop. We still work, in the law enforcement general career field, but we cannot escalate something like that, because what if this wasn't Tyreek Hill? What if this was just another kid in an expensive sports car? How badly could that have been? Now, take away all of that, and the demeanor of that one officer that was really exposed when he went up to the second driver who pulled over and kind of took over that situation from the cop who had complete control over what he was doing, and showed his ass. He showed his ass. He was pissed. At this point, he was pissed, and he was not making rational decisions.
I think it seemed very emotional of, now that I told you you're going to do this, you are going to do this.
Now we want to whip out our peckers and put them on a table and see who's bigger.
Yeah. So sticking with the hard truth.
So the moral of the story is, the hard opinion is, Tyreek Hill, all right, you could have left your window down. Probably recommend leaving your window down. But at the same time, though, too, I don't think that the cop did a great job de-escalating the situation.
No, he did a shit job.
But you know who else did a shit job? Hard truth. I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hiring an Atlanta coach to be the offensive coordinator.
I knew this was going to come up. Yeah.
What the fuck was the Steelers thinking? Like, Atlanta was dog shit last year. You're going to take somebody from the Atlanta staff and make them the offensive coordinator, and our offense has already been dog shit under Canada?
Yeah. So
good thing we got a good kicker. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, so here's what I don't get, right? I heard this sports commentator. You know how I feel about sports commentator when nerds, who never played the sport, say something. This dude I think he was right on, though. He's like, no, rest of the year, we're going to have a conversation about Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, and then we're going to get to the end of the year, and it's not going to matter because neither of them are the future of the quarterback Steelers.
Oh, 100%. I say we hold out for Manning.
At this point of the ball game, I don't know what it takes for us to score a touchdown. You know,
We don't have any receivers.
now
We have no receivers.
we are 1-0 at the top of the conference.
That don't mean shit. It's week one.
I'm just pointing that out that we are 1-0. Are you looking this up right now? You looking up the score?
I was looking at some college football right here. I was trying to remind myself. Notre Dame lost to North Illinois here.
Oh, yeah.
5 Notre Dame here.
Yeah. So as bad as that game was to watch, we won, and we're not the Jets.
It's just you can't rely on your defense every single week to keep you in a game. That's all I'm going to say.
You can't, because you're going to play more dynamic
unless you're
team.
Chicago, where Chicago's defense, gave fingernail boy a W.
So here I like that today because I trolled. Admittingly, I trolled a bunch of the Bears fan groups on Facebook because they're all like, "Oh, Caleb Williams," blah, 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 blah. And here's the deal, bro. It was the worst rookie performance.
What do you pass for? 90 yards?
90 yards. And they're all like, "Oh, there's nowhere to go from up but here." No,
Your defense
can get worse. So, I mean, I don't know what is with the Bears franchise and the Browns franchise, but you guys are great at taking number one talent and shitting them up.
No. I don't even think he was number one talent.
No, he was number one draft pick.
Just
True or false?
His attitude before the draft, and I'm sorry, any man that paints his fingernails, I got questions.
Craig,
I got questions.
Craig's
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah,
Dennis Rodman's one of a kind.
That's a different.
That's a biopic that needs to happen. When you kick it in with the North Korean leader,
Dennis Rodman. I mean,
when you can put on a dress, when you can have a bender, NWO.
That's a bad man.
Dennis Rodman is one guy. I won't say shit.
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman can do what the fuck he wants to do because he earned that right.
Caleb
Williams, you ain't earned shit.
Yeah.
Go play with some Barbies.
So get
off the football field, bitch.
Speaking of that,
mad as hell.
Oh, Stanley Cup's dropping the Barbie edition tomorrow. Gotta get that for my girls tomorrow.
Are you really going to go get that?
No, I'm sorry. I think Thursday.
Because it's when the whiskey drops. Yeah, I can't. I don't get that, man.
So what happens when you have 9-year-old girls? You have to go buy $80 or something.
You don't have to. You choose to.
Yeah.
I'd buy them one and make them cage fight over it. That's a good idea, isn't it? That's a good idea. You can just fight it out and then video it. Yeah.
Pass Dan's cock, would you?
I'm not touching his cock. That's weird. No, so I think the Bears have overinflated dreams. I think the Jets, man, what is it like to be a Jets fan?
I couldn't even. I'm probably almost the same as being a Cleveland fan. But it's like, okay, Cleveland. You get rid of Baker Mayfield. He balled out last year. He balled out on Sunday.
And you go after a convicted sex. Well, he's not convicted.
Hey, but hey,
we sent the convicted sex. Well, we sent the sex offender to Pittsburgh.
Deshaun Watson said, "Hey, did you hear his comment this week? He said, Brown fans, don't worry about week one. At the end of the season, it's going to be a happy ending."
He's got his masseuses lined up.
But I'm like, that was just dog shit on the Cleveland organization.
Yep.
What Baker Mayfield did for Cleveland.
Yeah.
And then you look at him down in Tampa.
They have consistently ruined number one draft picks and first round draft picks. I mean, Brady Quinn. I mean, the quarterback.
If you're the owner of Cleveland, you got to fire your GM. You got to fire your GM right now. You
should probably fire yourself.
Yeah.
Because the owners are the ones that drive these ridiculous, let's go out this. The Bears GM, this getting rid of Justin Fields for what they let him go for was a bargain for the Steelers.
Oh, yeah.
And Justin Fields, I think, is going to have a pretty decent year if they can settle down on Justin Fields being the quarterback. And I mean, Wilson just, I'm sorry.
He's old and washed up. Let's be honest. He's a nice guy. He's old. He's washed up. Let's call it what it is.
I'm going to poll for everybody on the Steelers, but you gave up a lot for Justin Fields, and you draft Williams, and you draft some really good receivers. He has talent around him.
No, there's no talent.
Well, he's got no friggin' line.
There's no wide receiver talent out there.
Who? I don't know their names.
Trash. And trash. There is one receiver I'd put faith in for a first down. Not even a touchdown. I'm saying a first down.
Ours,
100%.
I'm talking about Cleveland. I'm talking about Chicago.
So you were just talking about the Steelers. You were talking about Justin Fields.
I was talking about Caleb Williams. You surrounded
now they got him good wide receivers.
But yet they have no offensive line.
Yeah.
Again.
Okay.
So now you're going to put this kid, and he's not a running quarterback. He's not a Justin Fields a la mode escapability. He's a drop back guy for the most part. You're not going to give him time to find these receivers.
Yeah.
So he's going to get his shit pushed in. And then Chicago's going to be sitting there at the end of the season going, well, I don't understand. Dude, how do you not understand? Like, everybody else that watches it gets it, and I'm not a professional football analyst. I mean, it's just I watched the game, and I was like, what the hell's going on here?
Thank goodness for Chicago's defense. That's all I'm going to say.
While they have it. So obviously more to come on the football side. We got some interesting college football things happening. It was funny because a video was brought up.
Oh yeah, I thought
feed.
it was new.
Let's end with this because this made me smile.
I got all excited. I thought it was brand new, and it was 9 years ago.
So search out, if you ever get bored, of the Kansas State marching band feeding
the Jayhawks,
feeding the Kansas Jayhawks the dick during the halftime marching band performance. And they really did do it. They formed a Jayhawk, and then they formed a dick, and they marched the dick right into the Jayhawks.
It's 9 years old. It's on YouTube.
To the band director, you're a legend. And I don't want to let that one go because that made my day.
What was he unemployed after that?
Oh, probably. But I mean, listen, if you're going to go out like
legendary.
that.
Oh yeah, you went down in
a blaze of glory.
Oh
yeah, absolutely. So
I'm like, that's gang. I don't care who you are to pull that off.
Yeah,
that's some like, let me pull out my cock.
Listen, and they kept the integrity. They kept that thing moving. Like it was
solid.
It was strong. Yeah. I mean, that Jayhawk caught it all.
They kept jamming it in and out.
Yeah, they back off. I mean, it was great. So, Google search YouTube it because it is great. Listen, as always, we thank you for joining us. Check out our merch site at www.bulletsandbourbon.com. That's all spelled out. We got some cool new stuff on there. Yes, we will have hats coming. We've been asked this, and yes, we'll have Glen Cairns coming as well. We plan on getting those up there pretty soon when we can figure out how to mash buttons like, not a bunch of dumb monkeys. And we'd really appreciate if you check out our Patreon and consider becoming a paid Patreon member. That'll help us, again, with some more giveaway bottles as we try to drop some
Speaking of giveaways,
cool
what are we giving away for the month of September?
Month for September, again, is a bottle of Blanton's. So I'll go over it real quick again. Follow Bullits and Bourbon on Instagram and refer two people, tag two people. All right. Do that on Facebook as well. Follow us and tag two people in the comments of that video. You can search it out on the Bullits and Bourbon. If you join and become a paid Patreon member, you get 6 entries. So we don't have very many Patreon members. I mean, we're kind of small. So you got an increased chance. So you got a total for 6 entries for that if you do that. So total for 8 entries. And that carries over month to month. So if you're a paid Patreon member, you get 6 automatic every time. Next month we're already talking about what do we do just for our Patreon members.
Especially while we're smaller right now.
You got a good chance of winning some good
those
loot.
Patreon members that get the 6 entries right now. You start to get.
Did you say 6 inches or 6 entries?
6 entries.
Oh, that's really awkward there for a moment.
You start to get like a 6% chance right now of winning a bottle of Blanton's.
Yeah. So. Check us out. Follow us again. The Birch site where we're adding some fun shirts and some ones that, gentlemen, your wives will not want you to wear. Of course, we will want to wear them. They may just be a mowing shirt, but they'll be worth it. Get a little chuckle here and there. And as always, we thank you for listening, and I hope you tune in to us for Friday. Well, actually, Friday we're on the road.
Yes, Friday we are on the road.
Stolen Wolf.
Stolen Wolf and Thistle and Finch. We're going to be doing something different this go around. So we're looking forward to it. The
episode probably won't be out till Saturday morning, afternoon, sometime, depending
on how sauced.
Probably Sunday, knowing Dan. Dan will be recovering on Saturday, so expect Sunday.
Yeah, but until then, thank you again, and stay thirsty, my friends. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast of Bullits and Bourbon. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.